On Friday the 16th of June, and finally Phil Collins finally returns to Wolverhampton's Grand Theatre. To tell me more about it, the producer of the show, Tim Harper, hello.
Hi there.
How's it all going then?
Oh, it's going wonderful. We just started this year's tour the weekend before last. 70 dates in front of us, and as you say, back at the Grand in June. Can't wait.
And a great theatre to play, and really, you are a theatre sort of show, I think, aren't you? Because everyone can sit back for the bits they want to sit back for, but still dance around the aisles when they need to.
Absolutely, yes. It's very firmly based around the Phil Collins experience, and our show, the only way you can actually portray it is in a theatre. It just works so well.
Now, you're a Wolverhampton lad, so it's even better for you when you are playing in the city, and you're second drummer, so tell us about your role in the show to begin with.
Well, I'm the producer of the show, and I put the project together 10 years ago now. It's our 10th anniversary this year, and my role is really the Chester Thompson role, although I do pull the whole show together and make it work. But it's very much, for me, it's a really exciting project to be doing.
And introduce us to the rest of the gang.
Right, well, out front doing the fill is Chris Hayward, originally from Willenhall, just down the road. He now lives in Brighton. On lead guitar, we've got a young man from Sardinia called Marco Fressi. Mm-hmm. On keyboards, Kev Armstrong. He's from Llanelli in South Wales. Then we have a horn section, trombone, trumpet and sax player. They're spread all over the country, although our trumpet player does teach down at St Peter's School here, which is amazing.
So some brilliant local links.
Yes.
And that is a big lineup. So it's going to be a full band sound.
There's an 11-piece show. And as I said, we have a couple of backing vocalists as well. And a lady percussionist who taught in Wolverhampton a few years back and now plays for symphonic orchestras down in London. So we're really lucky to have her too. So it's a big homecoming for us all, and a really exciting thing for us to be doing.
And when it comes to putting a show together like this, as producer, you have to choose what goes in, what stays out, and there is so much material to choose from. So it is, and finally Phil Collins, which means you can have Genesis years, you can have solo years, yes. A bit of Buster in there as well.
Yes, there's a bit of everything. And for this year, we're trying to cover as much as we possibly can, being our 10th anniversary. It's based around Phil's final farewell tour of 2004. And yes, there's half a dozen Genesis tracks in there, solo stuff in there, there's film tracks from Tarzan. We try to cover the whole gamut of what Phil's has done in the past. And
there may be some future stuff in there as well from the sound of things. So would that be something that you might be looking at the 11th year, you're having to redo some of the show with some interesting new songs?
Yes, I think so. And because Phil's actually touring again this year, and we're hoping some new material's going to come out of that, and that'll give us addition. But the song catalogue is enormous. We can keep this going forever and never catch up, you know. As long as the big hits are in there for the audience, that's fine. But there's plenty of other material for us to go at.
And that's part of it, isn't it? Because there's often songs that they may have rarely heard live. There's songs which they probably wouldn't expect to hear live with Phil on the road now, because it will be the bigger songs that people are pushing for. But he must have his favourites in there. And do you know anything about what he enjoys playing that you like to then share with the audience as well?
There are songs he has to do. He couldn't get away with not doing In the Air Tonight, for instance. And I know, I can't tell you which tracks there are. There are a couple of the slow ones in there where he goes, oh, not again. But I mean, the audience love them, and that's the important part of it. It's sharing the thing with the audience. That's the most important part. So all of the big hits that he's done that have been in the charts, we're doing, as well as you say, some tracks that people will have heard, but I thought, I haven't heard that for ages, you know. So it's that kind of, we try to cover everything in the show.
And how many songs do you squeeze into one night?
There are 30 songs in this year's show. We've got a catalogue of songs that we've performed over the last 10 years, which is approaching 100 songs now. So we've got quite a decent slant of catalogue. And when it comes to looking at next year's show in 2018, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, because this is big enough as it is. But nevertheless, I'm sure we'll be revisiting some of the most popular tracks. A lot of our fans actually throughout the year request tracks, and we try to include those as well.
And so that sort of thing on your Facebook page, and it's great to share that, and it's a good chance for people to come along and see that. So how do they find you on Facebook?
And finally, Phil Collins. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as that. So and it's got a good following, and this year, I mean, our audience is growing, and the numbers at each theatre are growing. So that's a good sign that everybody still loves Phil. and we're doing the best job we can with him.
Oh, they must love Phil because Phil's going out on the road as well, so he wouldn't be doing it. But whether you can't afford the tickets for a massive stadium tour, this is going to be much more like everybody's pockets. But equally, this gets you closer to the music than you could probably ever do without spending thousands at a Phil Collins gig.
I hope so. I hope that's what I try to do, is to give them the full Phil Collins experience, with the choreography, with the stage set, with the lighting, with the way the show runs. We're always trying to meet his standard, and then people do come up to us and say at the end of the night, "Close your eyes and we were there," and that's the best compliment you can have, really.
Yeah, well, it's a set of songs that mean a lot to many people, a set of songs that everybody enjoys hearing, so it's going to be well worth getting your tickets, isn't it?
Yes, I think so. And to come back home, and we have a special surprise. It won't be a surprise now, appearance of St Peter's Church Choir. They're coming to sing on stage one of the gospel songs that Phil wrote. And that's going to be a really special event as well for Wolverhampton.
Yeah, more local involvement, you know quite what to do with there, with everyone who else is involved in that one as well. But that's going to be a really good night by the sounds of it. And your favourite song that you've got in these 30 this year?
Crikey, that's so different. I love them all. I really do. Take Me Home, I think. It's a song right at the end of the night, and it's really emotional, and I think we've nailed it.
Well, it's going to be well worth seeing. And finally, Phil Collins at Wolverhampton's Grand Theatre, Friday the 16th of June, 7:30, curtain up. 01902 429212 is the box office number, or grandtheatre.co.uk to get your tickets. But Tim Harper, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for your time.